Hey guys, Matt here. Welcome to Learn to Discern. Keith Moore recently made headlines when he purchased a third plane for his ministry at the cost of $17.5 million. Now, it probably won't be surprising to hear this given the fact that he just bought a third plane for that much money, but it turns out that Keith Moore, well, he's not really that great at teaching sound doctrine, and we're going to see some prime examples of that in today's video. But before we get to our assessment, if you guys want to help promote Christian content here on YouTube, please go ahead and take a second now to subscribe to my channel, and thank you in advance. Okay guys, we'll get to Keith Moore's teachings in just a second, but I want to point you to this article from the Christian Post. You can see the title, Televangelist Keith Moore Gets Third Jet Priced at $17.5 million. You read that right, third jet, and still owns the first two. $17.5 million. And check out this little blurb right here where I've highlighted on the screen. It says, screen grab from an April 21st, 2024 rebroadcast of televangelist Keith Moore's sermon titled, Free from Idolatry. Oh, the irony. A title of a sermon is Free from Idolatry, and he is trying to raise $10 million to help buy his plane. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that a person needs 3 jets that are so expensive to do ministry work. But okay, let's now get to his teaching and make sure that his teaching is indeed solid. Sorry, I sped it up here when I was listening on my own, so let's get it back to normal speed. And now let's assess his teaching.
Put Luke 6:38 on the screen. Let's see if anybody remembers this verse here. Luke 6:38. Give and what? That'll be the end of it. Bills will come up and you'd have wished you'd have had what you gave because it's gone now, gone.
All right, so Luke 6:38, he said, bills will come up and you'll wish you had what you should have paid. So this is obviously talking about finances, and this is not a big surprise. Keith Moore is a word of faith, prosperity gospel teacher. He talks a lot about finances and giving money. Of course, he's raising lots of money for himself so that he can buy 3 jets. But is Luke 6:38 teaching that we need to give money so that we can get money in return? Answer: no, it is not. Many people talk about it that way, but you need to read this in context. Let's start all the way back in verse 32 of Luke chapter 6. It says, if you love those who love you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. And if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners to get back the same amount. But love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. And your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and the evil. Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful. So this is talking about loving our enemies, being merciful to people. We are supposed to love them, do good, and lend. That would be giving away money or potentially some material things. And it says, expect nothing in return. Boy, that's not going to sound like what Keith Moore is going to teach, that you should be giving and then you'll get something in return. But the context you see here is about mercy. Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful. Now look at verse 37. See if it is continuing that same theme. Judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Yeah, this is still talking about mercy. Okay? Forgiving people. Being gracious to people. So in that context now, verse 38, give and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. Guys, this is talking about mercy. You give forgiveness, you give mercy to people, it will be given back to you. This isn't talking about finances whatsoever. But Keith Moore is just going to rip this out of context and tell you that if you want to have a lot of money, you need to give so that you can get it back. Let's listen to him teach that now.
Gone. Give, and Jesus is the head of the church talking here now. Give and tell me what he said would happen to you. It shall be. It shall be. Can you count on what the master said? It shall be given to you. And not just what you gave, but good measure, pressed down, shaken together so you can get some more in. And more on top of that, running over, shall men. How's it going to come? God's going to use people.
That's right.
Men are going to give into your bosom. That's why I said, if I'm a giver, what's going to happen? People are going to give to me. Do I have any givers in the house? You've given in times past. No, a lot of you are already ready to give today. Say it out loud, I'm a giver. And because I am, people are all the time giving to me.
Now, there's a reason that he's having everybody repeat after him. They're making a confession. This is a common thing that takes place in the Word of Faith movement. You have to make your confessions, your decrees. People will word it differently, but you have to say these things out loud because of the power of your words. And we're going to see him actually really go down that path here in just a second.
Now, several people, you need to undo some things you have said for years, because you have said things like, nobody ever gave me anything. Nobody ever gives me anything. Well, if you say it, you've decreed it. That's how it'll be for you.
And there you go. See, that is the Word of Faith teaching. What you say is what will become reality. So you can name it, claim it. You can speak things into existence. This is not what the Bible teaches whatsoever. There's no biblical support for that. And in fact, I bring this up a lot, but I still have never heard anybody give a solid response to this in the Word of Faith camp, that is. But if you are telling people to decree things that are just patently not true about that person's situation at that moment, how is that not lying? For instance, if I fall and I break my arm and the bone is sticking through the skin, I mean, it's really bad. If I just say, my arm is not broken, I am healed, how is that not lying? That is lying. You are just not being factual about your situation. The Bible never calls us to deny reality. In fact, think about Jesus and during his ministry. People came to him and they would say, Jesus, my child is sick, my child is injured, my child is dead, whatever it is. Jesus never goes, oh, you decreed it. No, you spoke those words. That's just how it is. You know, you spoke it into existence now. No, and he doesn't rebuke them and say, hey, watch your words. You say that, something's going to happen. He just listens to them and then goes and does what needs to be done, because this teaching is unbiblical, just like his unbiblical foundation of Luke 6:38, where he said this is all about money. We already saw how he's taking that out of context, and it's all about money and what you can get for yourself.
Nobody's ever given me anything. I've had to work for everything I got. Nobody ever gave me anything. Well, there's some pride mixed in with that. There's all kind of ugly stuff. And you're limiting, cutting off a flow to you. You don't want to say that. Is that what Jesus said? No. Give, and nobody will ever give you anything? No. Huh? Should we believe what the Master said? What did he say? Give, and men are going to give to me. Come on, say it out loud again. I'm a giver. And because I am, people are all the time giving to me. Money, things, favor, deals. People are all the time giving to me. Now, what if you're not a giver? Well, you can forget about all that. I mean, that don't apply to you. And I'm not just talking about giving in the offering. You're not just
All right. So there you go. If you want this to apply to you, you have to be a giver. And he was going to go on from there to say, not just in the offering, but every day. You need to be giving all the time, giving money. Very interesting. And of course, Keith Moore is asking people to send him $10 million. So don't worry. You send him the $10 million. You'll get the blessing. You'll get the blessing, though. God's going to give it back because I twisted God's word and am teaching you things that aren't found in the Bible. So most people, and this is what's so sad, unbelievers, when they read this headline, they think, what a terrible thing. I mean, they can see it. They can see that Keith Moore is scamming people. What is really unfortunate, and it truly does break my heart, is people within this movement, they don't see it. They can't see it. They don't see it. And I am afraid for the vast majority of you in this movement, it is because you have made something like money, like comfort, like possessions, your God and your idol. That's what it's all about. Ooh, I can give money so I can get something in return. Instead of giving out of gratitude, out of thankfulness for what God has done for you, or to just help other people and expect nothing in return. Friends, we can see the bad fruit coming from Keith Moore's ministry with this finances and what he's doing here, getting a third plane, and also with his teaching. This is certainly somebody we want to avoid in the faith. Okay, guys, I hope today's video was helpful to you. If it was and you want to help get content like this out to more people on the internet, please take a second now to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, God bless.